Hey, how's it going, guys? ZDEyE here. So today I definitely wanted to touch on this topic because I'm actually very excited about this. Initially Star Wars KOTOR or Knights of the Old Republic remake basically is getting done by Aspire, however way you want to pronounce their developers. And basically there's been a rumor regarding of its differences in terms of the gameplay. Or I should be specific in terms of the combat. So I really like what I have seen in here from these rumors. Again, if it's a credible leak and if you can trust it, obviously guys, I'm talking about this is a rumor, it's not a confirmation, but I would love to see something like this. This is why I'm mentioning it here anyway. So this is actually coming from Mr. Matty Plays. I'm actually subscribed to his YouTube channel. You can check him out. He does a lot of these sorts of videos. But yes, so basically he mentions that the KOTOR remake will have different play modes inspired by some of the biggest action games in the industry. He also claims that the anonymous source who has correctly revealed rumors such as the KOTOR's announcement date identified that the game remake will have an action combat style as opposed to KOTOR's original turn-based combat. And that, for the inspiration, the developers looked at God of War and Nioh. This is awesome. Personally, I love both of these games. God of War especially in terms of the, being a melee combat. But Nioh as well, being in terms of melee combat is more closer to a Souls-like experience, well, obviously. But yet KOTOR having similarities to God of War or Nioh in terms of its combat, oh man, I will be down for that for sure. And I continue with the this is seemingly a corroboration by a combat designer job listing at the Aspire, which includes responsibilities involving action combat design. Mr. Matty Plays said that his source also claimed that the game may have various play modes, but did not specify what those are. He did speculate those modes may be similar to a Final Fantasy VII Remake, in which players can slow down time while they fight. It's possible that KOTOR Remake players will be able to choose between turn-based combat or action-style combat, or switch between the two seamlessly during the game. That's awesome. Personally, I absolutely liked, Final Fantasy VII's remake of the combat. You can just have it similarly to like a button smasher. But basically, you have to always make sure that you know what you're doing. You can have it as well as a third-person perspective, similarly like the way Final Fantasy VII's remake is right at the moment. And you know what? I'm very much down for it as well. I'm very much curious to see with its turn-based combat and also action-style combat. These differences that we can expect as well for this sort of game, especially having an option, that is definitely the best way to go about. But of course, I have seen a lot of comments, I've seen a lot of tweets as well. A lot of people saying like, well, shit, basically we're not getting the same old original, inspired like a KOTOR game. Again, guys, I'm saying this is as an option. Why is it bad to have an option? I don't get that. Sure, perhaps if you want to, maybe there are some knuckleheads out there, maybe some people are genuinely quite angry because of this option. They, or those fans want you, a newcomer, to experience the real deal of a KOTOR and what it represents of its combat, right? If we have an option, and I have an option going with the action style combat like God of War or Nioh, I'm gonna choose that any day. But of course, if it doesn't, or let's say, like I said, this is a rumor, right? So it still is a possibility it may not come to fruition. And so if it doesn't have that style combat, I still will be very interested with its turn-based combat. Like I said, I liked Final Fantasy VII's remake's combat. And if it's something similar to that, I'll be very much glad and definitely going to be enjoying my time with this game. Personally, what I like about this sort of action adventure and action combat and stuff like that, as we already have it nowadays, is basically the meet and greet, right? Basically, you actually experiencing, every hit that you land, every time when you dodge and actually counterattack, whenever you want to utilize your strength to the play or perhaps the good and well-timed attacks. I personally think this is more fun for me, right? And I'm sure, like, if it's a turn-based action, then it's not going to be a similar thing. Not to say that it's a bad thing, and not to say it's a fantastic thing, but again, I'm just saying that having an option, I think it's the best way to go about, right? I personally think that having these options as well, it actually will open up more for the fans to dive into this remake, because they're not going to be worried and seeing like, oh my god, this action is awful. Because like, if you ask with a big percentage of people, again, this is my opinion, and ask them this: what would you rather play, like an action adventure sort of, maybe I shouldn't say adventure, right? Perhaps I could say adventure, maybe. Anyway, action kind of combat versus a turn-based combat, and what would they choose? And I guarantee that a far higher, mind you, percentage would definitely go for the action combat instead of the turn-based combat. Again, like I said already, this is just my opinion though, with these two options that you can make of your own decision. Still, having an option is always the best route to go, you know. But either way, I'm definitely looking forward to see more of the KOTOR. We still have a long way to go until its release. Undoubtedly, it's never going to be coming in 2022. Never. I shouldn't say it like that, shouldn't I? But anyway, I just don't see it happening in this year. Next year is a low possibility. Personally, I think maybe 2023 at the end. Or even sometime in 2024. Yeah, it's a long time coming, but still I'm very much looking forward to it, and hopefully it's gonna actually live up to the expectations of many. But you know, because they aspire, and we don't really know much about their developers in terms like what they have made in terms of like a AAA game. Thankfully it is a remake, but again, even remasters were a mess. Remakes, they're no different, they can be a mess as well. It all depends how much time and effort these developers are actually going to put in. Well, still, one can hold their breath, and hopefully it is going to end up very, very well. So looking forward to it. Love to see more of this game. Alright, thank you so much for watching, guys. Like and subscribe. See you guys all, and have a wonderful day.